United Artists Channel 63 presents the United Artists Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight from Rochester Adams High School, it's the Dondero Oaks taking on the Adams Highlanders. Good evening, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Bob Griglak here at a windy field. Bob, in a very cold field. I think that's going to play a lot tonight.
Well, not only that, it rained quite a bit for the last 2 days. We had over an inch of rain, and the field is swamped, so that's going to really have an effect on today's game.
Okay, the Highlanders coming off a big upset victory over Athens last week, and that's been the big story. They're coming in very pumped up.
As you can see right here, they are pumped up. It is homecoming, and they have no injuries, and that's going to make a big difference in this game.
Yeah, injuries are key because the Oaks are suffering some injuries. A key injury is their quarterback.
That's true. He has a separated shoulder, and he'll be out for the year, so their second-string quarterback is in, and they've brought up a guy from JV they hope they don't have to use. We'll see power football from them.
Okay, and we'll see the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us.
For years, certain members of the cosmetic industry have been testing things like shaving creams and shampoos on animals. In the process, millions of rabbits and other animals have been blinded, maimed, and killed. Help stop animal testing.
We're back here at Adams High School, just underway, and a high kickoff was recovered by the Highlanders. It was a high kick, and already, Bob, the weather has taken its toll on this game, and it has hurt the Dondero Oaks. The league records, 3-2 for Dondero, 3-1 for Rochester Adams, 4-2 overall for both teams. So you can see a pretty good matchup if you're looking at it score-wise. There you see the head coach, Jim DeYager, in his first year here at Rochester Adams.
To get back to that last play, the high kickoff was taken by the wind and pushed about 20 yards to the side. Nobody got on the ball until to the last second there, and then Adams came up with it.
So great field position, ball at about the 33-yard line, and Adams gets it there. The handoff to number 45, and that is Jason McDougal, one of the key running backs for Adams. Their quarterback is Ryan Olette.
Little misdirection play. Basically, all they did was hand the ball off to the third man on the fake. It was a good play on the first play of the game, except for one thing: fumbles can happen. You know, you've got to take a few snaps and get into the swing of things before you do that.
Fred Fuhrer in the middle of your screen there, the head coach of the Dondero Oaks, who led this conference, the Metro Suburban Activities Association, last year with a 6-1 conference record, 8-2 overall. Last year, Adams was 3-4 and 4-5 overall. Second down at about 9. Handoff quickly to number 20, and that is Charlie Sanders. Sanders with a big game last week, 185 yards, and a big game it was because it was against Athens and the big upset.
He had one big run of 80 yards, and he showed a lot of speed. This is just a straight handoff, nothing fancy about this, just power football. The offensive line blocked well. The offensive tackle blocked to the outside, the guard to the inside, and the hole was there. Nothing fancy, and I'll tell you what they've got to do here is make sure they don't turn it over, because they got a great break here to start the game.
Third down and about 4 coming up. A straight dive and a fumble, but he may have picked up the first down because he did recover it. That is McDougal. McDougal lost it and then fell on it, but he had picked up the first down. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look at this one here. Straight handoff. He barely gets the ball into his gut. That's what happened. It was not a good handoff. The hole was there. It was a great hole by the offensive line. They just got on it. I just got done saying they can't turn the ball over. The quarterback has got to get that ball quicker into his gut. The running back almost ran through the handoff.
Take a look at the cold crowd here. There's not so much the temperature, but that wind is a strong northerly wind, and you can hear it down there. You can see the jerseys of the players ruffling in that wind. Straight dive again. Nothing fancy that time, and not much yardage-wise either, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you what they're doing here is they're trying to set up either an end around or a pitch play. by handing the ball off to the first man through. The defense is going to start keying on him. That's when they're going to start taking advantage of some of the outside routes there. And they've got the speed to do it. Keep in mind, the field is very wet, so the footing is going to be tough, and that's an advantage to the offense.
The quarterback, Ryan Ouellette. Sanders and McDougal in the backfield. A handoff to fake the first one to Sanders, and this is McDougal outside. McDougal just shy of the goal line. And it'll be first and goal for Rochester Adams.
Well, I kind of feel like a prophet because I just said before that the reason they were setting that up is the fake. Now let's take a look here. Here's the fake inside. Everybody goes and they attack number 20 there, which is Charlie Sanders. The ball goes to 45. He takes the ball outside and makes a great run. Almost gets in the end zone. Jason McDougal.
You can see the strong wind, and it's almost ripping the flag off the pole there. And it has already played a big part in this game as the Oaks fumbled on the kickoff. Handoff McDougal. McDougal shy of the goal line, but then makes a good second effort. And again, it'll be now second down and inches.
Away from the goal line.
McDougal showed some great balance there, Dave. He was almost down at the initial contact, and he put his hand down on the ground. You're going to see here, he puts his hand down and gets to the 5 yards almost. Just take a look. That's where the initial contact is. Puts his hand on the ground and just drives toward the goal line. And just fell short.
Second down and about a yard to go. Ouellette calls the signal. Straight dive. McDougal, he's pushed back. A strong Oaks defense led there by number 59. And a great job down there. Well, defensively, Matt Hill.
He didn't attack the line. And watch the handoff here. Still a little bit tentative because he almost missed the handoff earlier. Kind of hands it off high. Look at, he fumbles the ball just for a split second, and because of that, wasn't able to attack the line. He had to secure the ball first. By that time, the linebacker's filled, and he was tackled short of the goal line.
And getting the initial hit was Justin Hinton. Here we go again. This time, they get in for the touchdown.
Good conservative play, I'll tell you. Anytime you're within inches or a yard of anything, if the quarterback looks and there's not a man over the nose, he's got to go take it himself.
And Ryan Ouellette from a yard out puts Adams up 6-0.
They are going to kick it, it looks like. This will be interesting with that strong wind. Let's see what they do.
You'll see the Wolverines sometimes do this.
It's like a left-footed kicker, too.
It is a left-footed kicker. Ouellette is holding. It is down, it is up, and it is no good. So the weather taking its toll on both teams now. The fumble for the Oaks, and now the extra point is missed for Adams. And that's the score, 6-0 early in the first quarter, 8:01 left.
I got a feeling everybody's going to be going for two-point conversions from here on in, Dave. With this weather the way it is, it's really not feasible to kick the ball because you have to line up so far and kick it from the hash mark basically to even have a chance. The wind is blowing at about 30 miles an hour, 25, gusting up to 40. So it's going to really be tough to pass the ball as well as kick. We saw, well, we didn't see on the initial kickoff, but the wind really took the ball about 20 yards from where it was kicked. Anything up high is going to be really effective.
So Adams to kick off again. And again, they will probably try to kick it the same way they did the first time. It worked for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only problem with that is if they fair catch it, which is what they really should do, that they're going to get great field position. So what they might do is kick a low line drive in this mud. If the ball gets wet, they have an opportunity to recover a fumble because it's going to be difficult to handle. I think the first one was just a fluke. They kind of didn't expect it.
And again, a high kick. It'll be fielded by one of the receivers. No, and again, it's a fumble. A loose ball again, and who's coming up with it? Now, one of the Adams players came out with it, but no signal yet.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but Adams gets the ball.
They get it.
Number 3, I believe, is the one who came up with the ball. Let's see if we can see what he does.
This is like 2 onside kicks in a row. Watch this.
There's a big scramble for it. Mark Campbell looks like came up with the ball. It's number 2.
Mark Campbell, number 2, comes up with the ball, and Rochester Adams in business again.
Well, they had the ball on the 32-yard line the last drive. They went 8 plays, 32 yards. You can see right there. Guess what? They're on the 32 again. What? Just might as well not even have seen the first
and
kickoff.
Just shy of 4 minutes off the clock for them. And they're in an identical spot where they started the last drive. Here's McDougal with a big 8-9-yard run that time.
You know, let's give some credit to Dondero, though. They're playing with 4 of their starters hurt on defense. This is a straight handoff. Take a look at the offensive line. The right tackle, number 73, pulls and tries to open up that end gap. 45, McDougal takes it, doesn't see a hole there, takes it back up with a nice cut, and gets a good yardage. It gets about 2nd down and 2 here.
2nd down, long 2 here for the Highlanders. They lead 6-0 early here in the first quarter. Olette, the quarterback. 2nd man through McDougal, deep in the backfield, and manages to pick up the 1st down. Gain of about 3 yards, picks up the 1st down, and Adams now on the move again.
What they're doing is they're pulling a guard or a tackle on each one of these plays. You take a look at 79, he's the guard, he's pulling on that play, and what he's doing is blocking down on the end.
We've got a 1st and 10. Highlanders on the move now. Let's hear for that offense.
Good run right there. Just cut the ball back up for the 1st down. He knew what he had to get. But they're pulling the guards and their tackles and blocking down, getting the extra attacker out there.
Yeah, that was not number 45, David Akhtari. That was number 45, McDougal, Jason McDougal for Adams. The long count and a straight dive for Charlie Sanders, and a big gain for him. Over the 15-yard line, inside the 15. And 2nd down coming up.
I'm really impressed with the way Ryan Ouellette is handing the ball off. He's doing a great job.
Don't forget, next week, the Berkeley Bears take on the Ferndale Eagles. And a great rivalry there. That's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63.
That should be a good game. Looking forward to that.
2nd down and about 4 coming up. A long 4. Handoff McDougal outside, and he's hitting the backfield for a loss. So the Oaks hit him in the backfield, that time number 33, and that's Rich Strange.
Well, they didn't pull a guard or a tackle that time, and they were outmanned by the defense. Let's take a look here again. No pull. He's going outside all the way. Doesn't have enough blockers out there. And then Dondero makes a great defensive job. Linebacker filled quickly, knew it was a run. Of course, with this weather, you can kind of key on the run. So you can key on a certain back, and a linebacker, what he'll do, Dave, is he'll pick a back, or the coach will send him against somebody, and he'll follow him all over the field.
3rd and about 6 coming up now for Adams. Dondero Oaks, their defense has to come up big here before this one gets out of hand. And they do. They get him for another loss. This time carrying the ball, it is number 23, Dan Orphan.
Let's take a look at this one. What they're doing is they're faking inside and kind of going with a counter type play. 59 makes a great play here in the initial hit. Here's the counter. End around, coming back with a good play. 59 sticks him hard and pushes him back. It's a good tackle.
Jim DeYager trying to get some of his receivers into the game, and that time the counter did not work. A timeout down on the field with 4th and about 7 coming up. 4:50 left on the clock here in the first quarter. And Bob, we have talked about the weather before the game, and it has played a big part.
Well, definitely. And we have to see them, get a ball. So we'll see what happens.
Don't forget to tune in to the Roadshow video program right here on United Artists 63. We bring you the best in pop music videos and take you to a new place in Southeast Michigan every month. Watch Brad and Pat on the Roadshow every Saturday and Monday at 9 p.m.
I want to make a point, Dave, about time of possession. Time of possession in this game has been all Adams. I mean, other than maybe a half a second that Dondero touched the ball on that kickoff. And that's it. I mean, they touched the ball one time and they fumbled it. The other time they didn't even touch it.
Here we go with a 4th down play. We've got Campbell's for left, number 2. Johnson, 43 for the flash.
So 4th and about 8, and they're going to go for it here. Adams leads 6-0. Be dangerous to go to the air now. So they go with a straight dive. McDougal on the dive.
McDougal on a straight dive.
And he gains about 5 yards, but it's not enough for a first. And the Oaks will get their first possession. And in fact, the Oaks are happy that they don't have to get a kickoff.
Exactly. What he's trying to do here is he's trying to draw them off sides with that cadence. It doesn't work, so he has to hand the ball off. A good run, not quite enough. 82 on the tackle. That's Brad Richardson. It was a nice tackle, and they're short of the first down, so the ball turns over, and we get to see Dondero on offense.
So the Oaks get the ball offensively for the first time tonight. Their quarterback, number 12, Charlie Lothar. Lothar, who also played defensive end, will not play defensive end tonight since he is the starting quarterback. The dive, and a crowd follows the running back. On the carry, number 36, and that is Sean Mascaro. Mascaro, 5'11", 185.
On the carry.
And there is our crowd.
The quarterback, number 12.
A homecoming night here at Rochester Adams. The crowd exceptionally fired up tonight.
They have to stay warm.
Second down and about 6. A handoff and almost slipping in the backfield is Rob Baker, number 29.
Great tackle in there by Matt Potts. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But the linebacker, 36, comes in here and makes a great ankle tackle. Let's take a look right here. He gets the ball off. It's almost a fumble. He's low to the ground, gets his balance back, and look at this tackle right there by the ankles. That's the only way to get a running back going through, and that's how they're doing Barry Sanders now.
Yeah.
They're getting him low by the ankles, and he can't get through.
And a loss on the play makes it 3rd and about 7. And the Oaks are in trouble. They've got a strong wind at their back, though. Here's another counter. This one is close, but not enough for the first down for the Oaks. So it'll be 4th and short yardage.
I'll tell you what, they really needed a first down there. Now they've got a kick. The wind won't be effective going that way as much. So I don't think they're going to have as much problem kicking the ball from our left to right as they would from the other way. He gets real close to getting the first down here. You're going to see a blitz in here by 66. Right there,
Harris gets in.
But he keeps his balance, and basically if he didn't lose his balance, he might have had a chance for the first down. Here's the punt.
Good snap and a good kick. And a bounce that favors Adams as it gets back into Oak territory. So again, Adams with good field position. They get it in Oak territory at about the 48-yard line.
Not a bad kick, though, considering the conditions, I'll tell you that. And the wind, as you can see, didn't affect it as much as it would going the other way. So that could play a factor later on.
The score 6-0, 2:20 left in the first quarter. And Adams with the ball again. The Oaks with a big defensive stand that prevented the Highlanders from really taking over in this game.
They were driving. They were doing a good job. Yeah.
1st and 10 for Adams. Ball on about the 47-yard line. Hand off to the second man through McDougal, and it is very slippery out there, Bob, especially in the middle part of the field, as you saw McDougal lose his footing.
Exactly. What they did was they faked the ball up the middle, gave it to McDougal going off tackle. McDougal saw there was no hole, tried to cut it back outside, and lost his footing. So virtually no gain there, maybe a yard. Not a bad play, but it's going to be very difficult to do that in kind of toward the hash marks.
Yeah, like in between both 40-yard line markers and in between the hash marks, it is terrible in the middle of the field. 2nd down and 9 now. Hand off to Sanders. Sanders outside, and a good move by Sanders to even get past a slick part of the field and picks up the first down.
I'll tell you what, I never thought for a second he'd have a chance of getting outside. Showed some great lateral movement, going from side to side and pushing one of the defenders away. The tackle was made by Sean Cromwell, number 31. But take a look at Sanders here. He cuts outside, sees he has nothing inside, and this is all speed. He runs away from a linebacker, runs away from another linebacker, and almost cut all the way through. If 31 didn't come back with the tackle, he might have been able to cut it up and go down the sideline.
Sanders picks up the first down and also picks up a little bit of mud on his back, so if you can't tell what number that is, then that's Charlie Sanders. That's the guy.
That's Charlie.
And guy without a number.
More players are going to have that happen to him, particularly later on in the game, and especially if we start getting some kicks in between the 30-yard lines, because there'll be a battle of field position at that time and in the mud, too.
One receiver up top. That is number 86, Chris Pardon. This is a handoff to Sanders again, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Wrapped up immediately, and again down by the ankles, Bob.
Well, on this particular play, fake goes one way, Sanders comes back the other way, but the offensive line did not hold their blocks. You can take a look right here. There's a nice stick inside by number 75, I believe, and he just holds on for dear life until he gets the rest of the team to help him.
Looked like Andy Gaither on the tackle, number 72. Second down and 11 now for Adams. Highlanders having trouble on this drive. Here's McDougal trying to cut it up and finally gets his footing, but gains only about 3 or 4 yards.
Well, if he could have got his footing, he had a great big hole over tackle. But what they're doing is they're doing a good job faking the ball up the middle. They're trying to freeze the linebackers. That's what they're doing there, freezing the linebackers inside, trying to get McDougal outside. He cuts the ball back up and makes a nice run. 28 with a nice hit in there too. That's Sean Goldman.
And they are close to getting the ball out of that sloppy part of the field. Once they get past that 40, they are standing it in the backfield, but the ball is in pretty good shape. So third down and about 7, and that'll do it for the first quarter as we run out of time. It was all Rochester Adams in the first quarter on 2 really big kickoffs that turned out to be like onside kicks.
Well, the wind definitely played a factor, and obviously it's going to be a factor for this whole game. We haven't seen a pass yet, and unless situations get to where it's 3rd and 3 or 4, and they're not looking for it, and they come with a little tight slant in or something of that nature to a tight end, they're not going to throw the ball in this. It's just ridiculous. They can't do it.
6-0 the score, and you've got to think that Fred Fuhr is thinking, well, now we're going to get the win, and we're going to get a chance to get in the end zone, and we're going to get a chance to try this onside type kick.
Well, they're only down 6-0, so it's not too far out.
Don't forget to tune in to Front Page Football as you join Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester and Detroit News writer Mike O'Hara as they welcome members of the Detroit Lions on Front Page Football every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. right here on United Artist 63. Back to the action on a third down, and it's crunch time as the Oaks get in. Number 84 and 82. 84 is Terry Drinkwine. 82 is Brad Richardson, and they make a sandwich there.
I'll tell you what, he's holding his hand. He might have got hurt on that play. Here's the fake. They're trying to freeze him. They are going to try to throw a pass, but both of these guys are in. I'm quick to see where he hurts his hand. He's holding the ball right there.
Could be when he lands.
It could be. Looks like he might have fell on his helmet and kind of got it pressed up against his helmet.
And here's the first punt for Adams, and it's a beauty, but it may go in the end zone. Let's take a look. No, a great punt inside the 5-yard line to about the 2. Everything is going Adams' way tonight.
That was a great punt, but it almost got blocked, so that was a real close call. What a good play, right down on the 2-yard line. I'll tell you what, that play can be worth 9 points, possibly 10 if you look at it with the safety and they get the ball coming back. So that's a big play.
Don't forget to tune in to Transition. Jeffrey Miller hosts Transition, a show designed to give perspective to African-American issues. Past shows have had interviews with Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers, and Coleman Young. Watch Transition every Saturday at 10 p.m. on United Artist 63. Ball on about the 3-yard line, 1st and 10 there for the Oaks, and it's been tough for them tonight. Hand off on a straight dive, and the crowd stops him at about the 5-yard line. On the carry was number 29 for Dondero, and that was Rob Baker.
Well, they got a little bit of room on that play. But the offensive line does a great job firing out. That's how he got the yardage. The offensive line pushed the defense back the 2 yards that he got, found just a little hole in between those bodies, and got it out to the 5. So they got a little bit of breathing room here. Let's see what they do.
And getting in there quickly was J.J. Dawson, number 44. Second down, a handoff to the first man through, and again, Adams stacks it up at the line of scrimmage. On the carry, number 36. And that is Sean Mascaro.
It really helps the defense a lot when they know what the offense is going to do. Obviously, in that position, they've got a second-string quarterback in there. They're down near the end of the goal line. They don't want to make a mistake, so they're going to try to run the ball out of there. And this is a big third-down play because if they don't, they've got to kick against the wind again.
So So it hasn't been easy for the Oaks tonight. They have had to come up with a big stand defensively to prevent Adams from really running away with this game early. And now they've got to get themselves out of a hole. About 6 yards they need for the first, and let's see. Not enough on the carry, number 29, and that again is Rob Baker.
We got some people getting muddy out there. Of course, when you're wearing white, it's going to show up a lot quicker. But they got a punt, and they're third down and about 3 or 4 yards away. So let's see what happens. Both kicks so far have been disasters.
So 4th and inches now, and the punting team comes in. You can't take a chance.
What do you think about it? Would that be taking a chance or what?
Yeah, it would be. Early in this game, 6-0, and it's been tough to even get points or even try to get near the end zone for the Oaks. They just need to get it out of here right now. Punting into the wind. This is Baker, number 29. A good kick considering the wind. And a good play down there. Good coverage by Terry Drinkwine, who immediately got number 21, John Langley. And Langley stuck him too. Let's take a look.
This is when it gets dangerous. First of all, it's a decent snap and a decent kick, considering the conditions. Now let's watch the hit here. One of the players stands him up. There's a great catch on the bounce. Take a look at this.
Right in
his breadbasket. But watch Matt Hill here come in with a pop. He stood up. I don't know if the whistle blows. Obviously it hadn't, but here comes Hill. Boom. Didn't hit him with the helmet, so that was a legal hit. It was a good hit.
1st and 10 again. Adams starting in Dondero territory. They have yet to have the ball in their own end of the field. This is the first pass of the game, complete. And a quick opener, down and out, really just a slant out. And it's complete out there to number 43, and that is Neil Johnson. Let's take a look, Bob.
It's obvious that if they're going to pass, they're going to pass going from our left to right. His hand wasn't hurt that bad because he threw a decent pass right on the numbers. It's a little high, but he went up for it and made a decent catch and a good gain. 2nd down and 4, it looks like. That's a good gain on 1st down. Now he's got some options.
2nd down and a long 3. We'll call it 4 yards now. And the handoff to Charlie Sanders. Sanders close to a 1st down.
Great tackle by Richard Strange that time, because if he didn't, Sanders had a lot of room to run. He was the last man to tackle him. Sanders makes a nice cut in here. Here's the handoff. This is a quick hitter. Quick hitter to Sanders, takes the ball up, now cuts right. Boom. If it wasn't for that tackle right there, he was gone down the sideline.
Looks like Strange on the tackle, number 33.
It's a decent hitting going on here. You know, it's a league game. Obviously, both teams are in the hunt for the league title. But there's some really good hitting, and I like the way it's being played.
Every week, Oakland Press Perspective with Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe discusses current issues with a variety of guests on Oakland Press Perspective. That's Fridays at 8:30 right here on United Artists 63.
Well, it looks like he's just short of the 1st down. Looks like maybe by a half an inch.
So Charlie Sanders, a big game last week, 185 yards against a very tough Athens team. And tonight has some pretty good gains too. Still far away from 100 tonight, but he's doing a good job. Here he goes again, and he picks up the 1st down and more. Gain of about 6 or 7 yards on that one, Bob, and they're just quick openers.
I can see the key to Sanders' success is hitting the line and hitting it quick. He depends on his offensive line to block in certain positions. He hits a hole as quick as I've seen a lot of running backs hit. He has a lead block up in there and takes advantage of it. I want to give some credit right there to the lead blocker, Jason McDougal. He did a great job of following right through the hole, and it was followed in by Sanders.
And the offensive lineman on that side really opened it up for both of them. 1st and 10, ball on about the 24-yard line. 6:50 left here in the 1st half. Olette the handoff, straight dive again for Sanders, and a good second effort here by Sanders to even get anything on that one.
He shows a lot of strength as well as quickness, particularly on that play, as he was hit, as you can see right here, about a yard after the line of scrimmage. And he fought for most of those yards. Take a look. He's hit right there. He fights forward for about 4 or 5 yards.
And they did not get a generous mark. They mark it back quite a bit. Gain of only about 2.
His knee might have hit down while he was trying to struggle for it.
So 2nd down and about 8. Ouellette hands off to the first man through, and the first flag that we've seen tonight. And it looks like an illegal procedure against Adams.
Might have moved just before the snap of the ball.
So the Highlanders slapped with the first penalty of the night.
Right at that second and long, they're put in a position here where if they are going to pass, they shouldn't pass for more than 8 to 10 yards. The reason being is they're in 2-down territory. If they can get close to that first down, they're going to go for it.
Ball at about the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 12. On a reverse, and it'll work. No. A flag is down, though. The handoff goes to Mark Campbell, and Campbell was in heavy traffic. He even stopped for a second to let the blockers and everyone go by him.
So it's
a holding call against the Highlanders.
Oh, that's a shame. They're getting driven back. 87, David Gilbert almost catches him right in the backfield. Take a look right here. It's a decent play.
And watch, he stops.
He stops and he cuts right back in him. That was a great running move. It shows his good speed as well as balance, getting all the way up for about an 8-yard gain. But that was negated by the holding call.
I found that interesting that Gilbert just stopped completely and was staring Gilbert right in the face. Campbell did, rather.
The holding must have happened right where he was tackled because they only brought the ball back from the line of scrimmage about 6 yards.
Second down. A handoff to Sanders. Sanders bounces outside. Sanders trying to cut up. Runs out of room finally at about the original line of scrimmage.
When you're going laterally and you're on defense, you've got to make sure that if he cuts back up, you're going to be there for the tackle. Otherwise, he's by you. You can slip right by him. So they're going down in a controlled speed. Sanders knows where he's going. The defense doesn't. That's why he's got an advantage going to the sideline like that. One quick move. If he knows he's got the footing, he can cut back up inside the defender. You can see right here, he tries to take it up and shows a lot of speed, getting the ball down for about an 8-yard gain. Not close to the first down, though. We've got 3rd and almost 10. So they're still in 2-down position. If they get 5 or 6 yards here, they still got a chance for that first down.
3rd and 9, just inside the yard marker. And let's see what Adams does if they want to go to the air on this. They'll stick to the ground, and it'll be Ouellette taking it himself. He's run out of room, though. And it takes 3 Oaks to bring him down. Initially on the hit was number 27. Steve Knoll caught him from behind.
He paid for that one. Harold Wilson, number 26, came in and popped him right at the end, right in the back. There's some good faking here. Take a look here. Fake the ball up the middle, fake the ball on the outside, and he's got the ball himself. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the speed to get the ball outside. Now watch this hit right at the last second. Right there, boom. 26 comes in and pops him in the back, so he pays for it.
With the timeout down on the field, don't forget next week it'll be the Berkeley Bears taking on the Ferndale Eagles, and that is always a great matchup. That'll be next Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. And another great matchup here. Both teams coming into the game 4-2. And the Oaks coming in with a 3-2 record in the conference. The Highlanders with a 3-1 record in the conference. In the Metro Suburban Activities Association.
This is an interesting call right here, depending on what they do. You've got 4th and about 8. No way for a field goal. Punt won't do you any good because you're not going to be able to bury it too far in unless you get a good bounce. So you have to go for it. I don't know. Maybe come up with one of their trick plays, something to work on.
4:59, just under 5 minutes left in the first half. Adams dominating the time of possession. The Dondero defense has been out there for almost this entire first half. A draw to Sanders, and it's stopped short. Gain of maybe about 2 yards on it. So the ball goes over to the Oaks, and they get their second possession of the game.
Good conservative play call right there. You're not going to get in a lot of trouble. Here's the draw play. Matt Hill sees it all the way. He's the linebacker. He's watching Sanders all the way, and he sticks him and makes a great play right there. Holds on for the tackle. About a 3-yard gain, short of the first down, so the ball turns over.
The Oaks had 6 shutouts last year defensively, so you know they have a very good defensive team. Some of that has stuck with them this year. They have stopped Adams twice now from getting in the end zone inside the 20-yard line. Here comes the Oaks offense on a straight dive, and not much that time on the carry. Number 36, Mascoro.
Dave, what I've noticed so far is the offensive line surge for the Oaks has been really good. They haven't opened up any big holes, but their backs have been able to hide behind those linemen and get 4 or 5 yards on a pop. So if they can start opening up some holes, we could see somebody breaking out in the open. But for right now, they're running behind them, and they're waiting for the offensive line to push the defense back.
The Adams sideline, they're talking offense down there because they have failed to get down into the end zone twice now with good field position. Not much room that time as they stop them cold on the carry. Number 44 looks like, and it is number 44, Dinkelman, Jeff Dinkelman. Let's take a look.
Little counter play, he comes back and tries to cut the ball up front. There's not enough blockers there. Blockers are trying to hold the blocks. He's spinning, but 71 makes a good tackle right there. That's Terrell Cole, I believe.
You know, Bob, both teams really not able to get their receivers into the game because of the way the wind is blowing on the pass. So they're trying to get them involved with the counter, and it hasn't really worked that well.
Well, one of the advantages of having the counter play is that you're going to have some speed coming around the corner, and you might be able to get it up and go.
This is an injury down on the field. Looks like number 64, Pete Lay, for Dondero. Either 64 or 54.
I think that's Dinkelman. That might have been the ball carrier. It looks like he got the wind knocked out of him after that tackle.
Or 84.
Somebody with a 4 in there. But I think it was Dinkelman because I remember when the play ended, looks like he was kind of hurt there. So we'll take a look.
It is number 84. It is Dinkelman down on the field. Or, excuse me, Drinkwine. Dinkelman is 44.
Let's take a look, see if we can find out how he got hurt. Look at the left side of the screen right here. There he is. He's kind of going down on a crawl. Nope, there he is.
Oh, from behind.
From behind. It was way on the top of the left of the screen. He got hit from behind, and that's how he got hurt right there.
Terry Drinkwine, number 84.
It's a hard-hitting game, I'll tell you. It's been pretty clean so far.
So the guy just took it right across the
So anytime you have a conference game like this, they are going to come in and they're going to try to hit as hard as they can because they want to remember it for the next year. They usually play them every year.
So Drinkwine getting off very slowly now.
Defensive end and offensive end.
Not only is he hurt, but he's also dirty.
And a few other players are going to be that way too. Well, Charlie Sanders started it, but you know,
yeah, when he went on the sideline here, yeah, he slid right down there. He was couldn't even see his number after that.
So hopefully, watch Drinkwine will be on the left side of your screen behind the action. There he gets hit from behind, and it looked like almost a clip. You saw it there.
It definitely did.
A fumble down on the field, and let's see who's got it this time. It got very vicious down there.
I'll tell you what, it looked like a mad scramble, and there could have been some real problems there. Luckily, they all have face masks, and nobody's going to get hurt like that. But this pushing and shoving goes on. And look, somebody did get hurt.
And another injury. This time, it looks like the quarterback.
And they don't need that to happen. This is their second-string quarterback. And they've got a JV player that they brought up just for this game, just for an emergency purpose. So heaven forbid that he stays down and stays out of the game. Obviously, in high school, if you're hurt and they have to call a timeout, you have to come out for one play. That's the rule. So we'll see what happens.
Mike Schlack, their original starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, was not with them when we saw them earlier this year against Ferndale. We saw Charlie Lowther. Schlack came back later this year, and now he's out with an injury again. So Lowther, who also plays defensive end, had to come back. Don't forget to tune into Roadshow Video every Saturday and Monday at 9 p.m. right here on United Artists 63, and enjoy the fine sport of fishing as those two guys are there. Look like Mark Gomez and Pat Collar there. Unusual for Mark to be sleeping while fishing.
I don't think he was. I think he was trying to catch the fish that he just dropped or something. I don't know.
That's right.
Very true.
So the injury down on the field has a timeout right now with 3:12 left in the first half. And it looks like Charlie Lothar. Again, a JV player was called up, Fred Fuhrer told us, but he didn't want to, put him in this situation on a varsity level and really filling in the big shoes of Schlack and Lothar. We're in the second quarter. The score 6-0. And Adams leads. Lothar comes off now, and he is coming off very slowly.
Doesn't look like a leg injury, so we might see him back in. He's not holding any extremity. He might have just got the wind knocked out of him, so we might see him back in. Can you read that sign, Dave? Look at that. Something. Heineken's men or
Bob
something?
Griglack is. Vote for Bob.
No, Ross. He's got the peak. He's voting for the peak.
Baker is in there to punt. Fourth down and about 4 to go. And a good punt for Baker. And now the Highlanders have a little trouble with it. The ball is loose. And I think the Highlanders got it back. Let's see. No, it is Dondero ball. And the first time the Oaks have had good territory to run the ball. Ball at about the 34-yard line, and the Oaks get it.
Jason Caraway comes up with a recovery here. There's 2 mistakes that were made. First of all, he fumbled the ball, obviously. The second time, he should have just fell on it and taken the position right there. He didn't, wasn't set for the man to hit him, and Caraway makes the recovery. Let's take a look here. You never catch the ball up in your face. You try to catch it in your bread basket. And that was the first mistake. The second one, he should have fell on the ball right there. The ball is stripped by number 82. That's Brad Richardson. And Caraway comes up with a recovery.
Go now. Coach, you want to talk to me?
Refs call timeout, and now they'll start the clock with 2:55 and now counting down here in the second quarter. We've got a power I formation now, the first time we've seen this from the Oaks.
Offside!
And flags fly all over. That's what you're going to get with a freshman quarterback in there.
Well, Caraway got all pumped up. He was the one who made the recovery. That time he's going to pay for it with 5
correction,
yards.
a sophomore quarterback in there. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah. He wants
movement on number 48. And that is Caraway.
Might as well keep going when you do that.
That's
once,
right.
Once you're past that line, you're history. They've had 3 possessions so far. The Oaks have. First possession, 8 yards. Second, 9. And the last one, 5. So let's see what happens. Maybe they can get a drive going and put some points on it.
Come on, you need to play there! Come on, defense!
Power I again. 1st and 15 now for the Oaks. And a fumble. Well, again, the weather playing a big part in this game, Bob. Very slippery down there, and also inexperienced right now.
It's like Mike Schlack is in there.
No,
they just changed his number? Oh, okay.
Schlack's number.
I saw his number. I didn't know what happened there.
Yeah, Schlack is out.
Obviously, when you're not used to working with a center, that exchange can be real difficult at times. He pulls away before he has the ball. Did not have the ball in his grasp. That's why the ball popped out. He needs to make sure that ball hits his hand before he goes and follows through.
I formation now, and again, the ball is loose. 3 straight snaps, 3 straight fumbles, and they knock him back 3rd and about 18 now.
Well, let's give him being nervous. This is his first game playing with the varsity. But the easiest thing to do in the game is to complete the snap. And if he can't do that, obviously nothing else is going to happen. You're lucky to get the ball back again. That brings back 3rd down and about 18 or 19 yards here.
All right, here we go with the 3rd ball now.
Let's see if he can get a snap, because you got to get a snap to even think about throwing.
I think they just might want to run out the clock. They've got 55 seconds left here in the first half. He'll go to the air, and he's got him wide open. First down, but there's a flag down, and it could be holding.
Oh, yeah, that's in the spot where it usually is. That or could be defensive holding, too, because the defense can also hold a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Well, he hit his man, Chris Tillotson, but they're going to bring it back.
Defense. I think it's going to be holding against the defense, Dave.
Holding on the defense.
that when that flag was thrown by that field judge out there, that's what will typically happen. The line judge calls holding. Field judge sees the linebackers and people coming out of the on the crossing routes, and it looks like one of the defensive players held the receiver coming across the field.
So the Oaks pick up a big first down, 44 seconds left here in the first half. And maybe too late here.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. A lot of things can happen.
You're asking a lot, though, from a sophomore quarterback to come right in this situation.
Well, it might be enough that he didn't really prepare to come in, and that initially would take some of the nervousness away from him. So if he can complete a couple passes, he can possibly get that confidence. Let's take a look at this play right here. He has plenty of time. That's one of the keys to this play. He takes the ball back and sets up nice and makes a nice tight pass. Basically the wind isn't going to hurt him or help him. The reception made by number 19 in there, that's Chris Tullison, and it's good for a first down.
Here come the Oaks. I formation in the backfield. And he is hit. And he is down. And getting in there quickly, number 32, Feast.
Well, when you have a young quarterback, you can do two things. Number one, you put a lot of pressure on him, or number two, try to intimidate him. That time the pressure got to him, he had no time. As he goes back, not really a good fake. Goes back to pass, 32 comes in and just nails him. Doesn't even have a chance.
Craig Feast on the blitz, and he got him for a big loss. Almost about 10 yards. It's going to be about second and about 18. Don't forget to tune into Front Page Football with Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester and Detroit News writer Mike O'Hara as they welcome members of the Detroit Lions on Front Page Football every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. right here on 63.
A couple youngsters trying to keep warm here. I'll tell you what, it is awfully cold. We don't have that problem, though, because we're in this nice warm press box.
Right. And believe it or not, I just killed a mosquito in here.
Well, today might be the last day he's around. It's supposed to go down to about 30 degrees tonight, so they'll be gone.
And you know what? More and more, this press box is getting crowded, isn't it?
That's okay. It keeps warmth in it.
It's becoming a popular place.
No doubt.
But you know, we welcome more people up here. It'll get warmer, don't you?
I don't think that's the heat. I think it's just body heat going on here today.
Clock stopped at 34 seconds. And the Oaks trying to get it in the end zone. And they go to the air. They go to the sideline. It's intercepted. And a flag is down. And getting out of bounds quickly and thinking to get it out in the interception by Jason McDougal, but he got it out of bounds to stop the clock with 27 seconds left so that they could possibly get a playoff.
Well, they're not going to pass against the wind. I'm curious to see what this call is, though, because if it's against the defense, that interception comes back.
And it looks like it is. Let's see. Looks like the Oaks will get it back.
We've got interference against the Highlanders.
Let's see if he pushes off to make this interception. The receiver's going down. He's doing a little curl route, and what he does, he cuts it off and goes downfield, possibly because the defensive back pushes him in. You can't see it on that play, but that's what happened. He went in for the curl route, he got pushed off, and went downfield. The quarterback had already thrown the ball, so if the ball's in the air, that's pass interference.
And it's a first down for the Oaks with 27 seconds left.
A lot of confusion there on defense. They got to get out there quick.
I formation in the backfield. And dropping back again. The Oaks go into the end zone and almost intercepted again.
Another flag. Another flag. It looks like it's on number 36. Matt Ponce for Adams. It looks like he held one of the receivers down on the ground. Let's see what the call is.
Damon Villera almost intercepted there, number 30. And another penalty against Adams.
I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. It's going to happen down in the left corner of your screen. Let's take a look if we can see it. The pass, by the way, was a decent pass, just overthrown and almost intercepted. There's the play, overthrown. You can't see the face mask. So you might have pulled him down to the ground. The sisters there, maybe. They have the same color headbands.
First and 10 ball inside the 10-yard line. 21 seconds left. They have time to get it in. They have to go to the air, and they do. And here comes the rush. And it looked like it was a screen set up, but there was nobody there. Nobody to throw to.
Well, I'll tell you what, he made a good play getting the ball out before he got sacked. That was a heads-up play for the young sophomore, because if he didn't, he was sacked with about an 8-yard loss. Let's take a look here. I think he has a general idea of where one of his receivers are. He knows he's going down. He just wants to loft it up so it doesn't get intercepted.
Number 27 was there, Steve Knoll.
He might have been hit as he was trying to throw the ball also, and it looked like it slipped out of his fingers. Good place to throw the ball.
Number 30, Valerio.
I formation, one receiver split down here at the bottom of the screen. That's number 19, Tillotson. Again, and there comes the rush again, and the screen does not work. They wanted to get the screen out to Mascaro, Sean Mascaro, and it didn't work. 13 seconds left.
Well, you've got the offensive linemen have to put a shoulder into somebody before they let those linemen through. I mean, the idea is to bring them in so they go past the receivers and the offensive linemen. And what they did is they didn't put a shoulder in, and it got to him before he was able to release the ball.
3rd and goal from the 9-yard line now for the Oaks.
This could be one of the bigger plays of the game, because if they don't score, it's going to be difficult to kick a field goal, obviously. They'll probably go for the touchdown even if you've done 4th down. So this is a big play. They can't get a 1st down before a touchdown. Keep that in mind.
Caraway, number 48, is down to the bottom of the screen. 2 receivers up top. Rolling out and throwing into the end zone and dropped. But he wasn't even in the end zone. Steve Knoll was shy of the end zone and dropped that.
Yeah, hit him in the wrong spot, probably right in the hands. That's pretty tough to do. Take a look right here. It was a decent pass. They're rolling him out a little bit to give him some more time. He's still got a lot of pressure on him. Here's the pass. It looks like he could have caught the ball. The defensive back probably shielded him from the last second.
I think it was tipped by McDougal.
It could have been
a little bit.
The shielding took his concentration off where he wasn't able to see the ball at the last second.
McDougal might have got a finger on that one. 4th and goal now from the 9-yard line. And this will probably be the last play. Rolling out into the end zone. And knocked away with 3 seconds left. Adams will get the ball back to just run out the clock.
That pass was right there. Let me tell you, the receiver, if he came back for the ball a half a yard, he would have made that catch.
Intended for Tillotson. Let's take a look.
Here's another good pass, and I'll tell you what, he's shown a lot of poise in this game. He rolls him out. He's rolling out to his left. This is a tough play to throw on. Sets up nicely, and take a look at this throw. The throw is there. The receiver, if he came back for the ball, he has to come back for that ball. If he doesn't, the ball is tipped right at the last second as the defensive back went for it also. He came back a half a yard. He makes the catch. Momentum probably would have took him into the end zone anyways.
And the Oaks showed us something on that drive, too. And now we'll run out the clock here in the first half, with the Highlanders getting on the board first in the first quarter, early in the first quarter.
Good job, buddy.
With 8:01 left in the first quarter, they score 6 points, couldn't get the extra point, and that's where we stand. And special teams has played such a big part in this game. Both teams on the kickoffs not being able to field the ball, and then on the punt return team for the Highlanders not being able to return the ball.
Well, absolutely. The special teams are affected more by the conditions, and we've seen that already today.
And the reason is those receivers that they have out there aren't usually out there for the entire game. Some of these guys are backups and shuffling in some of the plays. They may not be as warm as some of the other guys out there.
That's very true.
It is halftime here at Rochester Adams, and they lead 6-0 over the Dondero Oaks. We'll be back with some stats for you right after these messages.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
A
picture is worth 1,000 words, especially pictures of live testimony in high-profile criminal trials. Camera in the courtroom laws, along with satellite technology, have combined to open up a new phenomenon in television viewing. The William Kennedy Smith trial and others like it are being viewed by law school students, police, and millions of everyday Americans. This isn't Perry Mason or LA Law, but the real thing, with raw emotion, evidence, and a fair amount of drama. At a minimum, live courtroom coverage gives real meaning to cable's promise of alternative programming. At best, a generation of Americans will come to know much, much more about the legal system, their rights, and the consequences of wrongdoing. For Perspectives, I'm Leela Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives are those of Telecommunications Incorporated and not necessarily those of this channel. Please send your comments to this address.
Halftime here at Rochester Adams on this homecoming night. Let's go down to the Highlander Marching Band.
This is Bob Hope. You know, to stop cancer requires expert knowledge from every field of science. The National Foundation for Cancer Research has organized an international network of scientists. Together, they believe they can solve the problem of cancer.
Call now and learn how you can reduce your risk of cancer today and help stop it for good tomorrow. Call toll-free 1-800-321-CURE. We've never been so close.
Halftime here at Rochester Adams High School, and the Adams Highlanders lead 6-0 here on homecoming night. And since it is homecoming night, we have the king and the queen right there for you. Jennifer Monahan on the left, and that is Brian Kapitsky in the center wearing the crown. And it's very nice nowadays. They give the crown also to the king, don't you think?
Well, I'm very happy because earlier in the season we did a game with Clausen, and they only had a queen. They had no king.
Really?
And it kind of upset me. I'll tell you what, I'm one of those people for equal rights and equal representation, and this was good. I like this.
Let's go to the halftime stats now, and really astonishing to see Dondero with 16 yards passing, 8 rushing, a total of 24 yards total offense. Adams, 87, 6 passing, 81 total rushing, and a good balanced rushing attack with Sanders for 10 carries for 46 yards, and McDougal with 11 carries for 45 yards.
The time of possession kind of evened out a little bit there in the second quarter. In the first quarter, Adams had the ball for over 9 minutes. So it showed their way they controlled the ball, and particularly because they had the ball after 2 big turnovers, they were able to have one drive of 32 yards for the touchdown. The second drive stalled with the Oaks having a good defensive hold. So I think the key to this game now is field position and what they can do with it once they get it. And
don't turn that ball over, because it has turned over big points for Adams, and really the only points. But the Oaks have done a good job defensively by holding them, and they have had the ball deep in their own territory, deep in Oaks territory, I should say, and they have held off Adams. The kick is a short kick down the sideline, and it goes out of bounds. So either they kick it over or they'll take it there. But you know what, if they take it there, it'll be the worst field position they've had to start, because Adams has started in Oak territory every time. Looks like they're going to take it.
I would take the ball the way the ball has been played by the receiving team, the 3 fumbles we've seen.
They haven't been able to field it cleanly.
If I had the option, I would take the ball where it went out of bounds.
Neither team has been able to field a kickoff or punt return cleanly, so taking that into consideration, Adams will take the ball at the 35-yard line.
That's a good call right there. You don't want to fall behind, particularly at the beginning of a half, because momentum will turn. The game is only 6-0, so there's a lot of football to be played, and obviously you don't want to make any mistakes deep in the territory.
1st and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. And this is the first time the Highlanders have had to start in their own end of the field. Highlanders to go to the air. Orphan takes it down the sideline, first down and more. He is still in bounds, and he is still on his feet, and finally down inside the 15-yard line. Looks like he went out of bounds at about the 21, though.
This is a simple play. It's just a fade pass to the receiver coming back, and all he does is has to break a tackle. He's going to break a tackle by Sean Cromwell. Take a look right here. This is the tackle that makes this game work. He takes a fake right here. Take a look. Here's Sean Cromwell coming up. He gets by him. He's got nothing but daylight down the sideline. Now there's some good blocking down the sideline by some of the receivers, and a nice jump move right there that gets him some extra yardage, but what a play to start the half.
And he stepped out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Highlanders. Straight dive for Sanders. He spins out of it, and look at him go inside the 15 and down to the 11-yard line.
Excellent call right there. They're trying to take advantage of the defense, trying to stunt. And what they do is the offensive line blocks down, pushes him through. He spins out of a tackle there, breaks it left, breaks through another tackle. And if it wasn't for a good ankle tackle there by number 65, I'll tell you what, he had daylight in front of him and he had a touchdown in sight. 1st and 10 just outside the 10, so they can get a first down without getting into the end zone.
1st and 10, ball on about the 11-yard line. Olette passing out to Orphan again, and hits the ground, and it's incomplete. A good thing it was, too. I don't think he would have gone anywhere on that one.
Well, again, he's trying to break a tackle, and what you do is you try to isolate the receiver on the defensive back. As slippery as it is out there, one little move, he's standing still, so he's not going to fall. The defensive back's coming in him. He could miss him. If he does, he's got a touchdown to say.
Football players, once again, cheerleaders, remember the pizza party after the game.
3rd and 1 now for the Highlanders. Olette on the handoff to Sanders, first down and touchdown. Charlie Sanders from the 11-yard line.
What a hole did he have to run through. Initial blocking on the look at the offensive line. This is where it's set up. He goes through and he has nothing but open air in front of him. There's a great lead block in there by number 45, Jason McDougal. That springs him out in the open, and he goes into the end zone with some good running. Runs through a couple arm tackles and showed some good speed and some good strength. Here's the kick. Let's see what'll happen against the wind. Last time missed wide right. There's a fake.
This time they fake, and nothing on this one. So they tried for the two-point conversion, and Ouellette just could not handle the snap.
Well, that was a good call right there. They're trying to catch them off balance. They did try for it the first time. So therefore, the defense didn't know what was coming at him, and if the ball wasn't dropped, he had a lot of room to run on the right. So he had pretty much an open field on the wide side of the field, had one blocker in front of him if he didn't drop the ball.
So with the 2 missed extra points, a score now 12-0 in favor of Rochester Adams here on homecoming night. Don't forget to tune in to Transition with your host, Jeffrey Miller, as he hosts a show designed to give perspective to African-American issues in and around the Detroit area. Past shows have had interviews with Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers, and Coleman Young. Watch Transition every Saturday at 10 p.m.
Here's the key play. This is where 2 turnovers happen on this drive. There's Charlie Sanders. He's got to be happy. He's made a good showing of himself today. He's not going to gain his 180 yards unless he breaks a big one, but he's done a great job for him.
Good rushing day for both McDougal and Sanders. Here's Adams on the kick. A good high kick, and a little confusion in the backfield there, and taken down at about the 21-yard line is number 25, and that is Ryan Parsons.
Nice tackle in there by Mike Bailey, number 38. Here's a little confusion on this kick. They just got to catch the ball. Now they're in a good position right there because there's not a lot of water. Now watch 38 here make the nice tackle, holds on at the waist, and takes him down. Good tackle by Mike Bailey.
Parsons took it away from Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson was the deep man. Scoring drive, 4 plays, time of possession 104 only, and 65 yards total on the drive. Here's a counter play, and this is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. On the carry, was Dinkelman.
Keep in mind the first drive of the second half. Now they saw something in the films, or one of the coaches spotted something on that little out pass to the receiver. They took advantage of that. They did some good coaching at halftime, made the big play, got them in scoring position. They put some points on the board. Now they're 2 touchdowns ahead. That's a big point here in this game because it's going to be difficult to come back or pass against the wind.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11 now for the Oaks. Back in there at quarterback, by the way, is Charlie Lowther. Adrian Holcomb, the sophomore, did pretty good in trying to get him down to the end zone. Just couldn't get him in, though, after having a rough start. Here's the off-tackle play that doesn't get much for the Oaks.
They're in a pretty tough position here. Down 2 scores, going against the wind. They want to keep the ball on the ground so they don't turn the ball back over, obviously. But they also have to get a couple first downs. That'll do 2 things. Fred Fuhr knows that he's got to get some field position, and that's made the big difference so far in this game. He needs a couple first downs, and then if he's got a punt, he needs to bury him deep and then get the ball back.
3rd down, and about 8 yards coming up now. Oaks may go to the air here. Let's see. Deep and intercepted. Intercepted by number 5, Jeff Carmody.
I'll tell you what, that was not a bad pass. He just threw it a little late, wide open out there. It was, I believe, number 44, Dinkelman. Let's take a look here. He had time to throw the ball. Here's a key factor. He has time. Good fake in there through the line. Faked our cameraman out, but look at the throw. It just comes a little late because 19.
Yeah, it was intended for Dinkelman.
Tillotson that was.
Or Tillotson, yeah.
Yeah, it was open for him, but he was open. The ball was just thrown late. And it was a good interception by Carmody stepping up in front of the ball, but he had time to run under it, and that was the key.
So here comes Adams now. Ball on the 35. 1st and 10. Charlie Sanders bounces outside and then finally brought down at the 35. Right there on the tackle is number 87, David Gilbert.
He made a nice play coming in from end, stood him up and let the team come to him. Sanders basically with no gain, it looks like, on the play. Let's take a look at it here. He tries to take the ball inside, doesn't see a hole, tries to break out outside right here.
I'm surprised at the footing that he is getting on the way the field is. And we saw it. It's got to be worse than what it was when we went down there before the game right now. They have those long cleats on, as you said. 2nd and 10. McDougal on the carry. Straight dive, and he gains about 6 yards.
That's a great play on 2nd down and 10. The reason being is now it sets up 3rd down and about 4. Take a look right here. This is an excellent hole provided by the offensive line. They jump out, just straight line blocking. Look at the center, number 53. He holds his man up and gives him enough time to shoot through the line, past the nose guard.
Good
now
surge,
look at 79.
too.
79 has got his man pushed 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's excellent blocking.
3rd down and about 4 now for the Highlanders. Offsides, it looked like movement on number 43, so this will be called back. It looks like they picked up the 1st down, but movement on Neil Johnson of the Highlanders. So this is going to bring it back.
I do not have 79 on my roster. I'm going to look him up because I want to give him some credit. I'm very impressed with any offensive lineman that pushes his man back 10 yards. That's a great play.
It is Chris Eby. Chris Eby, offensive guard, number 79 for the Highlanders. Highlanders now find themselves in a 3rd and 10 situation after that penalty. And a passing down here. Let's see if they go to the air against the wind. And they do. And it seems to work, but not enough for the 1st down. Out there, complete again to number 23, and that is Orphan. Orphan, who had that long gainer.
Sean Cromwell wasn't faked out this time. This is a dangerous pass, although it has worked for him. The reason being, that ball was in the air for a good 2 or 3 seconds. Any defensive back that can read that and come up has open field all the way through. There's a good block in there by number 86. Let's give him credit. That's Chris Pardon. He made an excellent block to spring him for that 4 or 5 yards.
Cromwell on the tackle.
Now we got 4th down and about 4.
And a timeout on the field called by the Highlanders. Here is next week's game. Don't forget, Berkeley against Ferndale. Always a great matchup. That's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. Good rivalry right there between those two teams.
Dave, we've got a real key play coming up. 4th down and 4, score 12-0. If they can convert this 1st down, 2 things will happen. First, they'll take time off the clock if they don't score. Second, if they score again, it really puts a lot of pressure on the Oaks to come back. They've got to throw the ball, and obviously the quarterback has been hurt earlier in the game. So Lowther's going to have to really throw the ball in order for them to get back in the game. So it's a difficult situation. I think Adams will make the right call here by going for it. Nonetheless, they'll have not bad field position at the 30 if they don't get it. The key here is not to get sacked.
And Jim DeYager going out there. He called a timeout. Let's see what he comes up with on a 4th and about 4. Olette, the quarterback. The handoff to Sanders outside. He's got some room. He's got the 1st down and more. He's got a touchdown. Charlie Sanders for 6.
Outstanding speed, Dave. I'll tell you what, that was all Charlie Sanders. He did not rely on a block on that run. That was all his speed, taking the handoff, and watch this speed he takes. He just takes an angle. Here's his angle. He says, boom, I'm going outside, and I'm going to cut the corner. And he's had his head down, picked it up, and ran right around everybody for the touchdown. That was a great run by Charlie Sanders. Last week he had 2 big runs, one for 80 yards, the other I believe was 26 for touchdowns. So he's been the big man on this offense.
Charlie Sanders had a big 29-yard run, and the extra point this time is good. The extra point is good, kicking against the wind. And the score now, 19-0. You see it there as the Highlanders are starting to put this one away.
There's Sanders. He's huffing and puffing, but I'll tell you what, he did a great job on that run.
His 2nd touchdown, both in this quarter.
It's a lot of momentum going Adams' way here.
Don't forget to tune in to the Road Show video. Those 2 guys are sleeping because they're not watching this game right now. They are fishing. That is Mark Gomez leaning over and almost really touching the water.
Checking the temperature.
I hear that he's sick.
Oh, poor Mark.
Jim Zenick in the truck tells us that he is sick, and Pat just fell asleep, I think, so he can't help him. Jim DeYager, very happy. His team up 19-0 right now. And he is a head coach that will get into his offensive scheme of things on the sideline.
Well, Sanders is having a good day. There's our scoring drive, 4 plays, 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Of course, 35 yards, mostly coming on Sanders' hand.
Here's the kickoff. Inside the 15-yard line and dropped by Wilson. Wilson now cutting upfield. It's a fumble, but right into the hands, believe it or not, of number 59. And that is Matt Hill.
Matt Hill doesn't get a chance to run with the ball too often, being a linebacker, but he was heads up on that play, caught the ball in midair, and took it for an additional 5 or 6 yards. Let's take a look at this one. They're having problems on the kickoffs and on the punts also. Now, this ball should have been caught. He took his eye off it at the last second. As he picks it up, he does have room to run. Here's the key here. Watch him run up through the gap. Let's see who snaps the ball loose. Right there. 32 pops the ball up. Hill's got the ball, and the linebacker takes it up for about a 5-yard gain.
1st and 10, ball on about the 25 or 26-yard line, and cutting upfield, getting about a 4-yard gain. If they even give him that on the carry. Was, geez, I didn't even see who got up from the pile on that one.
Kind of difficult to see that one, Dave, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have some keys up here. Everybody.
And another injury. Maybe that's why I didn't see who got up. Front page football again. Don't forget to tune in with Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester and Detroit News writer Mike O'Hara as they talk Lions football. And believe me, there's a lot to talk about this year. And it hasn't been positive, though.
None of it good. They sure blew it yesterday, I'll tell you what. They had some really costly penalties, which really hurt them, and never, ever got their offense on track. Now, I see a big difference in these two teams. Not really size or anything of that nature. It's speed. Charlie Sanders has shown that he's got the speed to turn the corner, and that's been a potent weapon for Adams here today. The Oaks have not been able to get outside. Footing has something to do with it, but also speed and taking pursuit angles. There's Charlie. He's a little dirty, but he's seen more light than dark today.
Yeah, well, we can see his jersey now. We can see the back of his jersey as the mud has kind of dried up a little bit. So you can see where the jersey's been used a lot. It's got a little crack on the right side there. So you can see that maybe he's washing it with the wrong kind of detergent or something, or maybe putting it in the dryer.
I don't know what's happening now, but when I used to play, my mom had to wash my uniform. Now they probably have people that do it for them.
Yeah. See, that's where we needed that thing that John Madden has, that telestrator. The telestrator. We could have just circled that and showed you where, see, moms how to wash those. There, the ball carrier, number 29. That was Baker who got hurt, and he is now coming off field. That's a third player that Dondero's had hurt, and really because they have had both players playing offense and defense, and they are hurting. 5:31 left in the third, 19-0 the score, and the Oaks have the ball with a 2nd down and about 6 coming up. Ball is loose, and it looks like Rochester could pick this one up for 6, but let's take a look here.
I don't think they got it. I think the Oaks got the ball back.
Yeah.
But it's a big loss.
Okay, roll up his,
Loss of about 10 yards. Let's see. Loss of about 9.
Let's take a look
Third
at this
and
one.
about
It was a
19.
decent pitch. I think he just took his eye off the ball. You can see right here, the ball was actually a little bit in front of him, so it wasn't that good a pitch. He was knocked off the ball, and the ball is kicked by one of the Oaks players. He had a chance to fall on it. I don't think he wanted to dive in that pile. Number 4, oh, there he goes. There's a swan shot. Number 48 with the swan dive.
And Jason McDougal caused that fumble. He got back in there quickly. 3rd and about 20. Really, it's a little shorter than that, about 19. But it's a lot of yardage to make up quickly. And there it is, a big interception. You dream of that interception if you're a linebacker, but there's a penalty flag, and it's a big call for the Oaks.
I'll tell you what, that is a touchy call. I don't know if that's correct because he did not get the ball off to the last second. It depends if there was something flagrant at the end. I didn't see it, but the momentum of the defensive people took him into the quarterback. So if we can see a replay here, maybe we can check out.
Lothar is down on one knee. If you can see him behind number 70 there, he just got up, and he was hit hard. So this is going against Adams, and that will negate the interception. But that is the kind of interception you dream of as an outside linebacker. Let's take a look.
There was no reason for them to put any pressure on the quarterback or to hit him hard here, because they were hitting him down 20 yards. Now let's take a look at the extracurricular activity here. Here are the two men coming in. Oh yeah, they had time to stop. Wasn't that bad a hit though. I mean, it wasn't like they tried to demolish him. So it was a touchy call. Of course, the team being down, they probably wanted to give him one. Get him back in the game a little bit. Is that the way how it goes?
Yeah, Matt Ponitz is really upset. He's the one who would have had the interception. Instead, it's 1st down and 10, ball on about the 34-yard line. 33-yard line, we'll call it.
Tell you what, I really didn't care for that call. I really didn't.
And neither does Jim DeHager. He is down on the sideline talking to the ref.
Well, there was no malicious intent on the behalf of the defense. They were coming through. Their momentum was taking them to the quarterback. You've got a half a second to react. You're going to follow through with your shot.
Yeah, he wants an explanation here.
Oh, sure. I could see it if they went to the face or something like that. But if you're within 2 steps here, you've got to be able to pull yourself back 2 or 3 steps. Let's take a look here.
Okay, he gets rid of it.
Here's the pass. There's one.
And there's 2 guys coming in on him.
One step. That's all they had was one step to try to stop.
They both demolish him. They both really did. Well, they pulled up a little, though.
Yeah, they could have really buried him. They didn't.
They pulled up. They just shoved him down. It's a quick call you got to make. And that's why the refs get paid the big bucks, right?
Just was handed a statistic here by our stat man, Cy DeMeistermuller, and he says...
No, Demeulemeister.
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 Okay. They got more yards on penalties than they have gained all day.
Are you serious?
That's what he says. He's the man.
He's the man.
He's the man. That's hard to believe. More yards on penalties than gained all day.
Yeah, Fred Fuhr would like to forget about that in this game. 19-0 the score. Adams leads, but surprisingly, Dondero is not out of this game. 4:23 left here in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time left. Low, their hands off in a straight dive, and a good play defensively, shaking off the tackle, and then getting right on top of it was number 44 defensively, J.J. Dawson for Adams.
You could tell the Oaks really do not want to pass the ball. A few passes they've thrown have been either intercepted, knocked down, overthrown, whatnot. But they're running up with two tight ends and a slot back, just trying to run the ball inside, trying to break one open. So far, Adams' defense has been up to the task.
2nd down and about 9, gain of a yard on that play. And the Oaks need to come up with something quickly. Talking to Fred Fuhr before the game, he said he really doesn't have that kind of a speed on his team as the Highlanders do, so he's got to get something here. Loader to pass. And a flag thrown on the play, intended down there for number 44, Dinkelman. And making the tackle was McDougal, looked like.
He was all over his back as the ball almost got there.
Yeah, I think he was already on him before the ball got there.
Well, as our friend Cy said, they've got more yards and penalties than they've gained. There's no doubt about it now. That puts them over the limit if there was one. You can take a look right here. It's hard to tell by that angle, but he was over his back and was touching his shoulder before the ball reached him. That was a good call.
So the Oaks are moving up the field, but they're doing it with mirrors right now. And they have yet to get into Highlander territory. They are just right on the fringe of the 50-yard line. So 1st and 10 on the 50. I formation. The tailback is Wilson. He'll get it, he loses it, and here come the Highlanders to pick it right up.
Unbelievable. I have never seen so many drop balls in my life. I mean, there had to be 6 of them here today.
It is cold out there. And Wilson, Harold Wilson, who comes in, just couldn't handle this.
It's a good pitch. It's right in his hands. He takes his eye off. He wants to run with the ball before it gets there. And recovery is made by Adams.
And Tavon Harris recovers it for the Highlanders, and they pick it up now. Ball just over the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, and that is what it looks like down in the field. What you're looking at is the sideline, but it's no better down on some parts of the field. And the Oaks come with a blitz, and they cause a fumble. And we're going the other way now.
Oh, boy. I don't think he got the handoff off.
With the recovery, Justin Hinton, number 65.
They came in uncontested and contested the handoff, basically. He didn't even get the handoff off. That's amazing when you get 2 turnovers back-to-back like that. It's funny because we've seen it quite often this year. We've seen it at least 3 times that I can remember, that one team turns the ball over, the other team gets it right back.
It is a wintry day down there. Very cold, blustery. And there are some winter days that aren't as cold as this one. And it has caused some fumbles, and again! And falling on it again was Lothar, but we've got flags down on the field as well.
That's usually a procedure call from them. But that's 3 plays, 3 fumbles.
So we talked about weather. That's played a big part. The field condition has played a big part because it has rained 2 days prior to this. Rained a little bit today as well. Even some hail mixed in.
That's the worst position on the field that the condition is right there.
The middle part of the field.
There's no doubt in my mind. You can see there's a few puddles out there. And so far, that's where some of the fumbles have happened.
In between the 40s, and you're also going to get injuries. And this is where we've seen the injuries as well, right in this part of the field. Illegal procedure on the Oaks.
Declined because they lost about 8 yards, of course. See where they placed the ball. Of course, now we're concerned about the injured player.
2:36 left here in the 3rd quarter. And don't forget to tune in to Oakland Press Perspective with Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe as he discusses current issues with a variety of guests on Oakland Press Perspective, Fridays at 8:30, right here on United Artist 63.
That was Jeff Dinkelman, number 44, who's coming off the field. Looks like he's okay.
See, now this here is what a player really likes. So if you're not in the game,
if you've got big feet, it's okay.
Yeah, if you're not in the game, you want to be on the sidelines, at least, getting a little bit of mud on the shoes, trying to get into it, so that on the, in the locker room.
Practice in this weather purposes.
Lothar to throw deep downfield, overthrows his intended receiver. Number 48, Caraway, Jason Caraway. Good coverage down there by Mark Campbell, number 2.
I don't think Lothar wanted to complete that one. Let's take a look. Maybe the ball slips off his hands. That's why it kind of went up as a lame duck. Let's see if he's got the ball. No, he had a little bit of pressure on him. He tried to lay it out there so he can run under it, but just a little too far.
3rd and long now, 3rd and about 14 for the Oaks. I formation. Baker is the tailback. And Mascaro is the fullback. Mascaro lets the first man through. Mascaro is the lead fullback, and the lead blocker let his first man through, and that's the guy who got Baker.
Well, there's a penalty on the play. I didn't see it. Well, this is the first time that they've been able to handle a pitch cleanly. So that's something good, the positives that happened on that. Looks like we have a legal shot to the face. Personal foul.
Yeah.
Against Adams. Against the Highlanders. Oh my.
Watch the lead back. Mascaro here. He'll let the guy right through.
See if he can. Yeah,
he just touches him.
Just touches him. Tries to get on front, figuring the other back was already by him, and he wasn't.
And Craig Thies came right through and made the tackle.
Well, this drive is all penalties. Let me just say that. I'd say we've got, let's see here, 4 penalties they've had on this drive, and probably 90% of the yardage.
But penalty goes against Adams, so Sean, now's your chance to make up for that. Mascaro's really impressed us in the 2 games that we've seen here, the game against Ferndale, and really this game's good, hard running back. That time, Sean just let him through. He thought that probably the tailback was a little bit further ahead.
Thought he had more speed than that, and probably took advantage. Still got 3rd down here, 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, watch for the straight dive here. No, they go outside, and they're going to try a fake play. They go deep, and it's intercepted. No! Off the hands of number 30. That's Damon Villarreal.
That ball should have been intercepted, Dave, I'll tell you. Another lame duck throw. This one, of course, isn't by the quarterback. It's a decent call, but everybody saw it coming. There was never a fake involved. He had 3 men on him. Take a look down here. There's 3 men, 30. Villarreal should have had the ball, bounced out of his hands, and that should have been an interception. So it sets up 4th down and 1. Obviously, they're going to go for it in this situation. Down 19-0 with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
4th down and about 2. A straight dive, and it's a first down as Lowther takes it himself.
They almost didn't set long enough. You got to have 1 second set. Looks like as soon as he got to the line, he snapped the ball. Obviously, the refs didn't see it that way, so therefore, it is a first down. Good call.
The Oaks can look real good if they can get on the board here before the start of the fourth quarter, and then they'll have a whole quarter here, Bob.
He just goes right over center. Center number 58 makes a nice block, gets him that yard and a half that he needs for the first down.
As I was saying, if they can get on the board here before the start of the fourth quarter, it'll be 19-7, and they could possibly get a couple of scores in that fourth quarter. So it's not over yet. Oaks on a draw. Baker loses the ball, and it's a turnover right there. McDougal, or no, that's number 44. J.J. Dawson on the recovery.
I was just going to mention they need a few more penalties, but unfortunately they do not need any more fumbles. Let's see the ball stripped here. It was a decent pitch right here. Here's the handoff right there, and the ball is stripped, I believe, by number, I can't see at this point. 73 makes the strip. It was a nice tackle.
Nick Benson.
Just didn't hold on to the ball. You've got to hold that ball with two hands when a man's coming at you. And had nothing to do with the field conditions there. That was just his fault.
So Nick Benson strips it, and picking it up was J.J. Dawson, and here come the Highlanders again. Here's Sanders breaking it into the backfield and close to a first down.
Excellent run by Charlie Sanders. That was a lot of it came on his own. He moved the ball up the middle. Let's take a look at some of the blocking up front. Let's see where the initial hole lies.
Sanders is limping coming up. Let's take a look here.
A little shake and bake there. He makes the hole. He has some room to work with. 31 Cromwell with the tackle. And he's got about 4 guys on him and about 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, it looks like he came down on that ankle a little awkward. So we hope that Charlie's not hurt. He's had a tremendous night, 2 touchdowns and close to 100 yards tonight.
Well, he had 95 yards prior to this drive, so that 10-yard run gives him 105. So that does put him over 100 yards for the day.
And hopefully he can work out that problem that he had. It looks like he came down awkward on his ankle. Second down and inches. The handoff to McDougal outside. He's got the first down into the backfield. And over the 40-yard line down to about the 37.
Excellent run by McDougal. He's shown a lot of poise here today, blocking for Sanders most of the day. But when he's got his chance, he's made the most of it. Let's take a look here. He goes inside, then cuts out. He wants to take the ball outside and show some good speed. The ball's in the left hand, which is the right hand to be in, so the ball isn't stripped. And 33 making the tackle from Dondero, that's Richard Strange.
Strange on the tackle, but a first down carry for McDougal. A good solid backfield with Charlie Sanders and McDougal for the Highlanders has given them that 19-0 lead. In there now is number 40, Luke Camp. They go outside, and another fumble. And it looks like the Oaks may have it. Mark Campbell had it and lost it along the sideline. It looks like the Oaks get it. And first down, Oaks.
What a sloppy game. It was a great play, a good call right there. He had plenty of room to run. And I didn't see how the ball popped out, but keep in mind, what I mentioned before, you need to keep the ball on the outside when you're running toward the sideline. Let's see where the ball is placed after he caught the ball. Which arm is it in?
Good pass. It's on the outside.
It's on the outside, so it's in the right spot. Let's take a look here, see if we can see when it's popped out.
They stripped it right there.
The ball was against the other defensive player's helmet, and he couldn't pull the ball into his stomach to protect it.
Steve Knoll, number 27, got his hand in there and stripped it loose. And that will end the third quarter as we go into the fourth now. And it's been back and forth with turnovers, Bob, and that the cold weather has played a big part.
It definitely has, and I'll tell you what, if it doesn't pick up in regards to holding on to the ball, as you mentioned, there's still plenty of time left. Anything could happen. Fumbles, now you can return a fumble a long way because you're not going to be able to defend against it. So a lot of things can happen. Down 19-0, there's still a chance.
There we see Charlie Sanders on the sideline, and they're putting some ice on that ankle. And it looks like that's what happened. Somebody might have landed on his ankle, and he'll be there for a while. But he got his 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, but they're going to need him, I think, here in the fourth quarter. Here's a good run by number 44, Jeff Dinkelman.
I think Charlie Sanders is done for the day unless some sort of catastrophe happens. Here's a good cross counter here. Take a look at Dinkelman taking the ball over left guard. There he is right there coming back over. He's got a nice gap in between the guard and the tackle and takes advantage of it for a nice gain of about 7 yards.
And a good natural alley that opens up when you're running that counter. And a good gain on that, gain of about 7 yards. It'll be second and about 3.
Clock is running, keep that in mind. It is definitely against the Oaks.
Get up in there!
Lowther, the power eye situation, handoff to Baker, the tailback. Looks like he might have the first down.
Let's take a look at where the ball is
he's going to be short.
He's going to be short. And keep in mind, too, that they're in that mud area. So it's going to be very difficult to get your footing in that type of area. So if they're going to try to get this first down going up the middle, it might be difficult to try to keep your balance in that area. They might want to try to run the ball outside, but they've been successful with the quarterback taking the ball right up over the center.
Third down and about a half a yard to go. A key first down here for the Oaks, but they cannot continue to run out this clock on these drives. They need to get some quick scoring. Power eye, the handoff to the first man through, Mascoro, and it looks like he's got the first down. Let's see.
Let's take a look at the spot. I believe he does have it. I don't know.
Now they're going to have to get a measurement here. No, it is.
I got a first down.
The score 19-0. We're in the fourth quarter, and Dondero on the move. And with the amount of turnovers we've seen tonight, anything can happen here in this fourth quarter, so don't go away. Oaks on the move. I formation in the backfield. And Lowther will take it himself and only gets about a yard or 2 on the play. Good play defensively in there on the tackle, number 36, Matt Ponitz.
They're trying to roll Lowther out to the right here to try to give him some more time. The problem was there were 3 defenders covering 2 receivers. So they didn't flood the zone, and the receivers, after they saw him rolling, did not come back to the ball. They continued to run their patterns downfield. Lowther had to take the ball and run for about a yard or 2 gain. Good conservative play by him because he could have threw the ball into double coverage, and of course that would have brought big problems.
Gain of 2 by Lowther, and it's second and 8 now. Again, I formation, the tailback number 25, Ryan Parsons. Fakes to Parsons, and Lowther will throw, and he was hit immediately just as he was releasing. Looks like number 76 got in there, I believe.
Lowther had so many bodies in front of him. I think all he was trying to do is try to squeeze it through about 2 helmets. Let's take a look right here. See how many people he's got in his face as he's trying to get rid of the ball. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of pressure. Two players, look at him go right by his helmet. See, that jumped up just at the last second and just missed it. That was a wounded duck going over his head. Lucky the ball was not intercepted.
Nick Benson getting right in Lowther's face. Third down and 8. The draw, and nothing there. Right at the line of scrimmage as Parsons is stopped right there.
Nice defensive play by number 73, Nick Benson, and number 75, Chris Sarnicki. Let's take a look right here. The draw is a good call, a draw or a screen when the people are blitzing, but on this particular play, they read it well. The defensive lineman penetrated and were able to stop him for basically no gain. The Oaks are in trouble.
4th and 8 and a punting down as number 29, Rob Baker, in there to punt. Back to receive, number 30, Villarreal, and number 21, Langley. Villarreal will take it at the 30, and he's brought down at about the 32.
Protecting the ball, 32-yard line.
Well, the key to that play is he held on to the ball.
Don't forget to tune in next week. The Berkeley Bears travel to Ferndale as the Ferndale Eagles will take on the Bears next Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. Homecoming night here at Rochester Adams High School. And you can tell it's a winter-like night. The cheerleaders with gloves on down there, earmuffs, you name it. They've even got their pants on under the skirt. So it's,
I understood that one.
That's what I meant.
Okay, I know.
Usually they just have the cheerleader, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
1st and 10 for the Highlanders. And not much that time. McDougal carries for maybe a yard or two. Pickup of 2 on that. Be 2nd down and about 8 coming up.
I've been really impressed with McDougal's running today. He's been able to take the ball inside and outside with really good movement, as well as showing speed and great blocking ability.
A great compliment to Charlie Sanders in the backfield. As you said, Sanders is probably out for the night, but a great backfield, and I think that's what kept the Highlanders in it and really got them the points, was a good ground attack, good solid attack. 7:27 counting down here in the 4th quarter. Straight dive, McDougal will have a 1st down.
This is the time of game when the offensive line takes the control of the game. They're showing that they have excellent blocking here today. They're blocking down. Watch the center right here. The center is going to block down. Can't really tell, but he blocks down and opens up a great gap for McDougal to go through. And he's shown he can run low, even though he's quite a tall player.
McDougal may gain 100 yards. That guy right there, Charlie Sanders, already over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Charlie says he'll be all right. Okay, he said he's looking out for Rochester and Lasser. The blitz, and they get it out complete outside, but nowhere to go. A good tackle out there by number 28. That is Sean Goldman on the tackle.
Well, he held on for dear life that time because the receiver was quite a bit larger than he was.
Chris Pardon out there.
Let's take a look right here. The blitz is coming. He gets it off just in time, just before the blitz hits him. And it's a good pass. Unfortunately, he bobbles the ball just long enough to where he can't turn up to see the defender coming at him. And because of that, he was held up for about a yard gain.
And you know what? Had Goldman hit him earlier while he was bobbling it, he may have had
Something else
another
could
fumble.
happen also.
Yep. Timeout down on the field with 6:30 left in the game. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Adams. Don't forget to tune in to Roadshow Video again. There's those guys going fishing. Well, I don't know if is the fishing good? Yeah, I think one of the guys is getting sick.
There's a transition period right now, but right after that, the bass start going now.
Oh, okay. The transition's another show. We'll do that one next time. Cheerleaders cheering, I think, just to stay warm, really, tonight.
Well, they're kind of excited about being on TV also.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Doesn't happen every day.
That's right.
Just every Friday for us.
And Jim DeJager down on the sideline, head coach. First year here at Adams. 2nd down and 8 now for Adams. 6:30 left here in the 4th quarter. Ouellette coming up to the line of scrimmage. He's got McDougal and number 44, J.J. Dawson in the backfield. 2 receivers split down to the bottom. He's got one up top. That is Villarreal. The pass goes complete to Campbell. Campbell looking for some room, and he gets blasted out of bounds by number 65, and that is Justin Hinton, who put in a good lick down there on Mark Campbell. Campbell really had nowhere to go.
I'll tell you what, he was just demolished down here on the sideline. Let's take a look right here. This is a decent play. He avoids the rush, avoids the blitz right here, and able to get the ball off, but the penetration, the pursuit by the defense comes through. Now, I don't know if Campbell's out of bounds. Let's take a look right here. You can't really tell because of the players. If he's out of bounds there, that's a malicious hit. Holy cow. No, he was in bounds, no doubt about that.
Still in bounds. I didn't hear a whistle.
Man, he was popped hard.
Justin Hinton.
Taking out some of his frustrations there, I think.
Yeah, you could hear the crunch. And the players approved of it, too. 3rd down and 8 now for the Highlanders. And a delay of game call.
Well, that shouldn't happen when the ball goes out of bounds like that. It just shouldn't happen.
Especially you're on this side, you were on your sideline, and that'll hurt the Highlanders on this drive. Don't forget to tune in to Front Page Football with Free Press writer Kurt Sylvester and Detroit News writer Mike O'Hara as they welcome members of the Detroit Lions on Front Page Football every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. And here we are, folks. Nice and warm up here, I should
Not
say.
bad. We took our coats off. There's a lot of bodies up here. Earlier, there was even more.
And you can see our vantage point is a little bit warmer than those folks in the stands. And some of them have even gone home to watch the game on TV. Downfield, Olette almost gets it intercepted, intended for Campbell.
That's a tough throw coming across your body like that. The receiver wasn't open. It's a good thing that ball was thrown low and outside because it would have been intercepted. It's like a World Series term, low and outside. Good thing they're playing.
Just don't say anything against Deion Sanders, especially tonight,
no.
because you don't want to get any ice water on you tonight.
3 times or 4 times?
Well, just one time would be enough to get you in the hospital tonight. Here are the Highlanders to punt. Punting it away is Mychek. And on the return, Parsons. Parsons slips up at about the 36-yard line. And that is where you get that wet turf.
Slipped in the mud. No way to go.
19-0 right now, but don't forget next week, it's the Berkeley Bears taking on the Ferndale Eagles in a great matchup. A lot of great matchups for you this year. And some great ones coming up Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63.
Well, Dave, if the Oaks run on the first play, I think they basically have given up.
You think so?
Yep.
Well, they've got a 2 tight end formation and a power eye in the backfield. And a long count. Stacked up, maybe a yard on it. On the carry is Baker. And yeah, they give him a generous mark, a gain of maybe a yard and a half. So they're running the ball, and you think it's pretty much over now?
It's pretty much over right now because they're not going to throw the ball. And if they don't, obviously they're not going to try to get into the game.
You can see how cold it is. Even our cameraman, who usually does not wear gloves, is wearing those big, I'd say, oh no, this is how cold it is, folks. Don't let the camera fool you. It is freezing out there, and these guys, well, we shouldn't even show that. A counter, and trying to get some running room is number 46, Andy Chapman. And Chapman gains probably one of the biggest ground gains for the Oaks tonight.
He carried a couple bodies with him on that play, so it was a good run for him.
Coming out number 33, Andy Mychek.
They're still playing in the mud, though, so it'll be difficult. We've got 3rd down and about 4.
They're right in the worst part of the field. You can see where the lights are shining off the mud and the water down there. 3rd down and about 3 yards, a long 3, I formation. The pitch goes back to Parsons. Parsons hit at about the line of scrimmage and maybe lunges forward for a yard. It'll be 4th down and about 2 yards.
Well, the only positive thing he did there was hold on to the ball, because I'll tell you what, it could have popped out real easily. Here's the pitch, good pitch right on him. Doesn't have a real good grip in the ball, but it looks like right here, see that? The ball's behind his back almost. And he holds on to dear life and didn't fumble it. That was the only positive thing that time.
Only positive thing. Right now, they're going to go for it. They have nothing to lose right now. Down by 19 points, 3:37 and counting down in the 4th quarter. The Oaks going for it. And in there at quarterback is Adrian Holcomb. And the whistles and the flags fly.
The defense lined up off sides. One of the men had their hand inside that neutral zone.
So they pick up the 1st down.
I didn't see anybody jump, so they must have lined up.
And that's a good way to pick up a 1st down without even snapping the ball. So the Oaks pick up a break, but still a lot of points to make up in a short amount of time.
Sometimes when you change quarterbacks, the cadence changes also, the voice intonation. And because of that, the defense gets used to a quarterback, and they can jump against somebody new coming in. We saw that yesterday with the Lions and Eric Kramer when he came in. He threw him off a couple times. Same thing might have happened here. I don't know. They might have lined up also.
There's that trusty blanket. Well, they've got a couple of them. Let's see, how many blankets? See, they came prepared. They've got 3 blankets for 2 people. And the Oaks having a little trouble getting this one off as they call a timeout down there, or the refs do. 19-0 the score. And a little confusion down there.
Well, there shouldn't be. Just hand them the ball so they can run it out.
Just so muddy down there. Here's Charlie Sanders. He's got his ankle wrapped up, got some ice on it. And hopefully he'll be back next week. He had a big game last week in the upset over Athens. To the air, and an interception by McDougal. No flags, and this will count.
Didn't even look. He just threw the ball to a spot, and the ball was intercepted by McDougal, who's had an excellent game.
The sophomore, Adrian Holcomb, throwing to the senior, McDougal. Let's take a look.
McDougal was right there in front of him. The receiver wasn't open. There were 3 defenders there, and he stepped up to make the interception. He's had a really good day, both blocking, running, and on defense. He's gained 74 yards on the ground. He's had an interception. He's played extremely well on defense.
Yeah, I'm really surprised and really, I should say, impressed with the backfield, the starting backfield of the Highlanders. In there now, new quarterback, and a whole new offense, really. A lot of fresh jerseys out there.
Well, they've got to get their jerseys washed also, so they want to make sure they get in and get a little mud on them.
There's quarterback Ryan Olette, the starter, out.
What does he have written in the back of his head back there? AHS, Adams High School, I bet. Ready? What do you think?
That's it. Just in time for homecoming. And in there at quarterback is Derek Meineke.
Of course, it could be the initials of his girlfriend. Adrian, Heather, something or other.
Something or other. That's right. That begins with an S.
Yes, something or other.
That's right. Second down and about 7 now. Flags fly again. And let's see what we have. A delay of game called on the Highlanders.
Well, I'll tell you what, you get a whole new unit in there. That's going to happen. There's going to be some confusion in the huddle. Quarterback's going to say, all right, you go here, you block this guy, and I'm going to hand you the ball, and you take it this way. By the time you get all that said, you've taken up 30 seconds, so you can see why there was some confusion.
Yeah, so this time they've got it called already. They know.
Let's go, Burry!
Derek Meineke, the quarterback, in the backfield. Number 42, Justin Doan. And he hands off to Doan. He cuts it outside, and he's hit for a loss. On the tackle is Brad Richardson. So Doan, yep, couldn't get outside.
Well, it's kind of difficult to get your footing, particularly right here. If you're going to take a look, one of the reasons he was tackled, watch his left foot as he's grabbed right here.
Whoops.
Whoa, come backwards. Difficult to run the ball then.
Third down and about 12 now, coming up for the Highlanders. In the backfield, Mike Bailey, along with Keith Berg, number 34. Meineke handing off to Bailey. Bailey surging forward. Gains about 2 or 3 yards. 4th and long coming up now.
Nothing fancy about that, trying to keep the ball in bounds, trying to run some time off the clock.
But the flag stops the clock as Meineke looks in, and it's a penalty on the Highlanders.
Had quite a few of those here in the second half. They got a little sloppy, although they scored 2 touchdowns.
It's a penalty on the Oaks. There was no representative of the Highlanders over there talking to the refs, and there was one from the Oaks.
Trying to find out who the penalty was on, I'm sure.
So it's a big penalty, a personal foul call on the Oaks, and that'll give the Highlanders good field position and a first down. Ball at about the 33, 34-yard line.
O'Neal is split left, number 6. Everybody else is in tight.
Meineke on the handoff. Straight dive, or rather off tackle to Matt Calder, number 28.
I like the way Derek Meineke runs about 30 yards to the left after he hands the ball off. He says, I don't want to get hit. I'm not dirty. I'm just going to hand the ball off and get out of the way. He's got to get dirty. Look at his uniform. It's too clean. I don't like it.
You can even read the Adams on the side of the pants there.
I just can't believe it. He needs to get dirty.
See, Charlie Sanders is going to get on him in the locker room. Charlie Sanders is going to tell him, hey, look, you know, Derek, you got to get dirty. Flags fly, offsides on somebody down there. Looks like
everybody
could be on the Oaks. 34 seconds left in the game.
I still want to see him get dirty, though.
This will go against the Oaks. Next week again, don't forget to tune in. The Berkeley Bears take on the Ferndale Eagles Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. There's Mark Gomez. You've seen him sleeping on some of the promos. Well, he's down on the sideline tonight enjoying this cold weather. Dive off tackle and getting wrapped up, and maybe back to the original line of scrimmage is Justin Doan. It'll be a third down now coming up, and that'll pretty much run it out, actually.
There'll be no down now because the ball game's over.
A big homecoming victory for the Adams Highlanders here at home against the Dondero Oaks. The score 19-0, and it was all Highlanders tonight from the very first kickoff. And then the second kickoff, as you saw Fred Fuhr there. Fred Fuhr came in with an injured team, a battered team, and really needed some things to go his way. Well, it went all Highlanders from the very beginning. And head coach Jim DeYager came up with a big victory here at home on homecoming. We'll be back with final stats for you. And the final score, Rochester Adams 19, the Dondero Oaks nothing.
Graduation, quite a day. But where do you go from here? You want something challenging. You'll find it in the Air National Guard. The Air Guard can give you skills you'll use for a lifetime. You'll make good money, and after you train, you serve just 2 days a month and 15 days a year. That means time for yourself and your country. The Air National Guard. Because graduation isn't the end. It's just the beginning.
The final here at Rochester Adams. The Highlanders 19 and the Oaks nothing here on homecoming night for the Highlanders. Very successful for them. And let's take a look at the final stats. 235 total yards of offense for Adams to only 38 of Dondero. And that started off early, Bob.
38 yards they have total offense, 65 yards in penalties, so they outgained themselves on penalties.
And Dondero really couldn't get anything going tonight, as Adams, really their ground game was very strong. Big leaders for them, as we'll see shortly. But turnovers were a big story. 4 for Dondero. Adams had 3. First downs pretty much even, and the time of possession was even because Adams scored quickly.
Very true, and the 2 big turnovers made the big difference on the 2 kickoffs early in the game.
Let's take a look at our leaders, and you'll see why Adams really took control of this game and won it 19-0. It was pretty much all a running attack for Adams. They did get some yards, 65 passing, but it was Sanders and McDougal, a good combination in the backfield and good balance. 15 carries for 104 yards for Sanders and 14 carries for 72 yards for McDougal. And McDougal played a good, solid game defensively as well.
He had an interception, did a great job blocking through the hole for Sanders.
And you can see the ball is even freezing here as it put on its gloves and the hat. And next week, hopefully it'll warm up as we travel to Ferndale, which is south of here, so maybe it'll warm up down there. Berkeley will take on the Ferndale Eagles in a great matchup Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. Well, our cameramen have deserted us. They're in the booth with us warming up. And the final score here at Rochester Adams, the Highlanders 19 and the Dondero Oaks nothing. We'll see you next week from Ferndale. For Bob Griglak, I'm Dave Zorin. Tune in next week.